Law enforcement officials are saying the man responsible for the weekend deadly shooting spree in Odesa was fired from his job. He was fired before going on that bloody rampage and called 911 as well, and an FBI tip line where, he left a long rambling messages. FBI Special Agent Christopher Combs believes the shooter was eventually going to commit some kind of act of violence.
He was on a long spiral of going down. He didn't wake up Saturday morning and walk into his company, and then it happened. He went to that company in trouble.
Yeah, police killed that shooter in an exchange of gunfire just not too far from a movie theater in Odesa.
He called the national tip line about 15 minutes before his encounter with the troopers. It was, frankly, rambling statements about some of the atrocities that he felt that he had gone through. He did not make a threat during that phone call. He ended that phone call. After the phone call, we initiated all of our law enforcement procedures, trying to figure out who he was, where he was. Unfortunately, it was only 15 minutes before the trooper was engaged.
There you go. That's Christopher Combs, Special Agent for the FBI of Texas.
So he does not fit the stereotype. He was not a young kid who played video games and was a loner. He's in his 30s, and in this case, people saw this coming. It wasn't a case of, well, he seemed like a quiet guy, kind of kept to himself and all. No, people saw this coming. So the question is, what should they have done? This guy that they just talked to who said, yeah, I had a feeling it was going to lead to something like this. Okay, did you ever say anything to anybody, or did you just keep this?
He was the FBI. That was the FBI. That was the FBI talking right there. Yeah, he said that they immediately, once they got word of the 15 minutes, they just couldn't find him.
Well, the people that had an idea that this guy was spiraling down, because obviously...
That'd be his co-workers. That'd be his friends and family.
Did they? What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Great question.
This is it. This is
the loophole. This is the gap.
Right. This is what we've been talking about right here. This is not about the gun. This is not about the AK or the AR. This is about there's a crazy guy. People knew he was crazy, and people are just going to go. Apparently, it sounds like people just going, yeah, that guy's crazy.
Well, I don't agree with this guy whatsoever, but his name is Billy, and he decided to turn his guns in. And he did it over the weekend. An Austin man turned in his AK-47 to police in response to the mass shootings across the state. And KTBC happened to be there just in time as he was turning his guns in for some reason. I think they got a tip that he was going to do that, and they thought, hey, that'd be a good news story.
Yeah.
And that's what you do when you're trying to make a political statement, right?
Right.
You call the press first.
Here's what I'm doing.
Well, Billy turned his guns in over the weekend.
The massive shootings, all the lies, all the blood is hard to ignore.
Billy saw it in El Paso, Dayton, and Midland, Odessa, and decided it was time for him to make a change.
All right, I'm going to go in and let him know that I'm surrendering my firearm, and it's an assault weapon.
Okay, you're turning one in?
Yes, sir, I'm surrendering an AK-47.
A gun owner since he was 10 years old. Today, Billy's idea of protecting himself and his family no longer includes a firearm.
We need to get them off the streets. I need to get mine off the streets. I can only speak for myself and pray for everyone else.
He made sure to hammer his message home.
Enough said.
Before delivering the rifle to Austin Police Headquarters.
If anyone else is wondering what to do with their assault rifles, this is one option. Surrender it. Y'all had a program at once.
Either that or sell it back to a gun shop.
No, I don't want it out on the street. You don't want it out there on the street either, sir. Y'all's job's hard enough.
Billy was told by police to leave the firearm in his truck until an officer escorted him to take it.
It's not loaded or anything?
No, sir. It's actually decommissioned out there.
It may only be one, but it's one fewer gun Billy has to worry about finding its way into the wrong hands.
I'm trying to make a safer place for you and me and you. My grandbabies, Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it.
Hope you appreciate one more off the streets.
All right, I do. I appreciate it.
He hopes he's the first of many to do so.
I would encourage anyone that is in my position to do the same. It's not easy. It takes a lot more thought and a lot more courage to do this than it was to buy it.
Because Billy says every second he waits for Congress to act is 1 second closer to the next tragedy.
I don't need them to pass a law to let me know what's right, necessarily in a case like this that's so plain. I mean, the time is now.
There you go, Billy. He thinks we're safer now that he turned his legally owned gun in. I'm not buying it, man. This sounds like a stunt to me.
I think it was a bit self-serving.
Well, I mean, ask some questions. Billy, where did you buy that gun? I bet he couldn't answer that question. I'm not buying it. I think this is a stunt. I don't think he actually owned that gun. He may have owned it. He may have bought it, but he didn't know what it was. He went into the police station. This is an assault rifle. Somebody that owns a gun like that doesn't say that word.
You don't think they refer to that as assault rifles?
No.
I'm not saying they do or don't. I'm just.
No, they don't.
Huh.
No, people that are gun enthusiasts don't refer to it that way.
Well, are you saying he's maybe not even the owner of the gun?
I'm thinking he may have been the owner of the gun. I don't know. Did they run it? Did they run that gun through the system to see if it was used in a crime or anything?
I kind of got the feeling.
I ain't buying it. I'm not buying his sob story at all.
Well, I got the feeling that even the police were like, dude, you really want to be doing this?
Yeah.
You know? It's like, well, you could just sell it back or...
you could just break it apart and throw it in the trash.
They're like, oh, okay. You know.
Take the firing pin out.
Right.
I'm just not buying it. I think it's some kind of stunt, man. It's just, I'm not buying it.
He is trying to. There is somewhat of an agenda here, no doubt about it. I mean, I think it's obvious that he probably did. Who else would have let the news know about this? Who would have let?
Yeah, this is a stunt. I bet a little bit of digging, and we find out that this guy's funded by like Mayor Bloomberg or Moms Against Gun Violence or something like that. Seriously.
Well, we'll see.
He didn't want to use his real name.
We'll see.
I mean, it's one of those anonymous sources, kind of stuff. I'm not buying. I'm just not buying. I'm just not. There's something in my gut that says there's more of a scam here.
Well,
we're being played.